David Icke's our guest for another hour. We've got reporters out at the kamikaze attack site. The government's saying the guy burned down his house, crashed this plane into the building, IRS/FBI building complex, the Echelon complex. Talk about in your face, the name of the big surveillance grid. Joseph Andrew Stack, named as plane crash pilot. Man sets house on fire, crashes plane into Texas building report. We reportedly, Paul Watson has this, is posting it now at prisonplanet.com. It's being pulled off the reported places where he posted it. We'll find out if the providence is real, but we're going to post it right now at prisonplanet.com, his supposed suicide note. And, of course, the feds could write this up, drug him, put him in the plane, remote control it, and it's normally staged. You have this person trying to open a plane door today. You have somebody else with a bomb threat on a plane. This is really looking like a massive psyop. We'll ask David Icke, who's an expert on this, why they want to create this feeling of hysteria and fear. So we then go to the government begging them to keep us safe. They're the big daddy. He said, no taxation without representation, reportedly. I've spent total years of my adulthood unlearning the crap from only a few years of my childhood. These days, anyone who really stands up for principle is promptly labeled a crackpot, traitor, or worse. Yet at the same time, the joke we call America medical system, including the drug and insurance companies, are murdering tens of thousands of people every year and stealing from the corpses and victims they cripple. I'm reading over this right now. It is lengthy. David Icke, again, I apologize to David, but I talked to David as a former top BBC reporter. He understands this. We have to cover it as it breaks. I know he's got to leave in an hour. I may twist his arm to stay longer, but we'll see what happens. I've got Paul Watson on the line briefly, writing on this right now. It's going to, I guess, have the headline, Purported Suicide Letter of Austin Kamikaze Attacker, or Austin Plane Attack. Watson, I know it's going up in the next few minutes at prisonplanet.com. Tell us exactly where you got this. Reading over it, the feds could have written this. He could have. It looks like something someone would write. Where did you get this info, Watson?
Well, all I've been doing is typing in Austin plane crash into Google and then refreshing every few minutes. And this came from a blog which carried the purported pilot's name as Joe Stack, and now that's been confirmed by the authorities. That his
all right,
name is
get
Joseph
it up.
Andrew
Then get
Stack.
it up. Get it. I'm going to let you go then. Get it up with that basic breakdown that this same site said that one of his reported family members was on KLBJ, confirming this as well about 30 minutes ago. Anything else, Watson?
No, obviously, in his screed, he rants about totalitarian regimes and tax codes and everything that we talk about. I wonder what the media is going to do with this.
We need listeners, because we don't have the staff, to go back in the last 2 months. It was actually December 8th is when I said they're going to stage a terror attack in Austin. And I even talked about planes flying into buildings. I don't know how I know this stuff. It's just incredible. Anything else, Watson?
Well, it doesn't even matter if it's staged. It's how they're going to exploit it, and that's obvious. And it'll start tonight on the news shows.
But, Watson, you tie this in with a bomb threat on one plane diverted, another passenger reportedly trying to open the door and depressurize, and all this hysteria. I mean, and this looks bad. This looks like it's staged on the heels of the underwear bomber. Anything else?
No, this entire letter is going to be posted now at prisonplanet.com. All
right, write a basic analysis at the top and why we believe the providence may be accurate. In fact, it's leaning towards being real because, again, this other blog was able to ascertain his name. Get it up. Give them credit as well. Thank you, Paul Watson.
All right, thanks, Alex.
All right, going back to David Icke. Again, I apologize. Obviously, this is happening, David. I want to get into the whole globalist pedophile scandal. Hearing this new info, continue to break it down. Why they want this hysteria?
Well, it's been, funny enough, I've just finished a new book. It'll be out in May. It's just about 2 days from going to the printers. And in there, part of that is saying that one of the biggest targets in the near future is going to be people that are putting this information out. They want to discredit anyone that is exposing the agenda, exposing what they're doing. And, you know, I'm a great believer in just holding back before you make, decisions and assumptions to see the full picture. But put it this way, if the sort of stuff in that note is accurate, and that note is accurate, then it is, again, I keep using this word, Alex, all through this chat, blatant. It's so blatantly obvious that you get someone to do this, you link them to those nasty, dangerous people, and people like this, what's his name, Cass Sunstein, one of the czars of Obama. He's been targeting in the most extreme ways people who are exposing the conspiracy.
No, he says infiltrate 9/11 truth groups and anti-global warming groups and commit violence to get them in trouble and to discredit them.
Yeah, I mean, if the man had a brain cell, it'd be even more dangerous. I mean, when you read some of the stuff that he's saying, but it's so extreme because another word I keep using because it's applicable. They're getting desperate, so they get more extreme, and they're overcooking. They're in very great danger, and eventually they will. They're overcooking what they're trying to sell to the public, and it's getting more and more ludicrous. They overcooked massively. The climate change lie, and because they overcooked it, it's fallen apart. And they'll do the same with this. We're going to get a lot of aggravation, we'll get a lot of criticism, a lot of condemnation from these people, or what pass for people, but, you know, it's a sign of how desperate they are, and it will be very, very interesting to see how this plays out in the next few hours, the next few days, because it's taking on all the signs of the most, again, blatant attempt to discredit this whole conspiracy research community.
Well, let me break this down. The globalists always stage terror attacks, and it's 100% Oklahoma City was a staged deal. Yeah. States' rights movement was exploding. The Patriot movement was exploding. The states were being taken back. That's now happening. They tried to marginalize the Tea Party. They tried to have the Republicans take it over. Now the Patriots have taken it back. Glenn Beck is even admitting this and panicking. The exact same talking points in the last week by Beck, O'Reilly, Chris Matthews, a supposed liberal, have come out saying we're going to be violent, we're going to attack. And then this guy's letter comes out from a blog that confirmed his name first. This is going up at prisonplanet.com right now, and we'll have my basic analysis there that we're going over right now. And then he's basically a Tea Partier who is against the tax code and been part of anti-IRS groups since the 80s. And I mean, this is bad. This is really bad, David.
It is absolutely the Oklahoma bombing revisited, but in another kind of stage of the uncovering of the conspiracy, an even more desperate stage than it was then. So it's no surprise that this is coming. It's bound to come, including, you know, all the efforts to censor the internet, which is the vehicle that's really unraveling this whole conspiracy and putting it before people. The reason people like Jay Rockefeller and all these people are trying to justify censorship of the internet is the same reason they're setting up these problem reaction solutions that we're seeing now.
My God, I've got to read from this. He says, I can only hope that the numbers quickly get too big to be whitewashed and ignored, that the American zombies wake up and revolt. It will take nothing less. I would only hope that by striking a nerve that stimulates the inevitable double standard, knee-jerk government reaction that results in more stupid draconian restrictions, people wake up and begin to see the pompous political thugs and their mindless minions for what they are. Sadly, though, I spent my entire life trying to believe that wasn't so, but violence not only is the answer, it is the only answer. The cruel joke is that the really big chunks of this bleep are at the top, have known this all along, and have been laughing at us using this awareness against us. It goes, fools like me for a long time. I saw it written once. The definition of insanity is repeating the same process over and over again, expecting the outcome to suddenly be different. I'm finally ready to stop this insanity. Well, Mr. Big Brother IRS man, let's try something different. Take my pound of flesh and sleep well. And then this is reportedly the kamikaze attacker. The communist creed, from each according to his ability to each according to his need. The capitalist creed, from each according to his gullibility to each according to his greed. And, I mean, it just goes on, purportedly written by this guy. And
that wasn't signed by Cass Sunstein, Alex, was it?
Well, yeah, that's what I'm
saying. It should be.
all I can say is, if this turns out to be real, he says, no taxation without representation. He quotes the Founding Fathers. Now, if you quote the Founding Fathers, I mean, look, David, I saw them doing the preparation in the last month. I was sure this was going to happen. I've been telling everybody this, and they singled out Tea Partiers. Beck went further than just 9/11 Truth. In the last week, they've said birthers, who are more than half the Tea Partiers in polls. So now you really see